Batman Superman World's Finest issue 22 heads to Gog's citadel in the Saharan desert, where he tells the Earth 22 Batman and Superman that they served him well, and while they didn't capture the demon doppelgangers, their faith in God girded them against their poisonous dishonesties. The heroes thank God for their guidance, and Superman wants to go and locate the people disguised as them, but Gog reveals that they are being dealt with as the Justice Brigade attack the Earth-Zero Batman and Superman all over the Kent farm. Batman asks Superman what their plan is, but Clark figures the only plan that makes sense is to retreat and regroup. Zatanna uses her magic to restrain Superman in some magical chains, leaving the heroes at the mercy of Etrigan. Batman throws a batarang into the demon's eye, buying them a few seconds. He tells Clark that the chains around him are nullifying his strength, not because they are unbreakable, but because of the magic. He places a bomb on them, which gives Superman a hand in breaking out of them, as Kid Flash comes for the heroes, ordering the others to open fire on them. Superman tries to talk it out with the heroes, but Batman thinks that they are all brainwashed, making Superman think that the battle isn't winnable. Batman doesn't believe that, saying that Superman takes on entire planets, and at least the heroes there are there to capture them, not kill them. So maybe they should throw the fight and stall for time, but Supergirl refuses to buy their tricks, coming for Batman. Bruce uses a Kryptonian martial arts, tossing Supergirl into a pickup truck. He wonders if this universe's Krypton had that martial art, but it doesn't seem like they do, since if they did, he would not be the only one who bothered to learn it. Superman confronts Shazam, telling him that they aren't what they think they are, but the arriving newer heroes tell them that Thunderman says that they are going to murder them all and they trust him. Batman notes the newer heroes, showcasing that not everyone on this world is a doppelganger of people they know, as Thunderman appears, telling the heroes that the Justice Brigade won't buy the doppelganger's lies. The team managed to pin down Batman and Superman, sealing Superman in a lantern construct with some kryptonite gas supplied by Firestorm. David congratulates everyone on a job well done, leaving the area with the heroes as he takes them to Gog, who demands that they refer to him as Gog, the bringer of the eternal light. He reveals that he has gifted this world's heroes with the ascension to glory. David continues to act out his lies, saying that no one knows who the two heroes are, but they might be Phantom Zone escapees or some twisted result of Brainiac and Joker teaming up. Gog sees that they can carry murder in their hearts, so they will be imprisoned in the catacombs. Superman is grabbed by his Earth 22 counterpart, but he shrugs him off, telling the man that he has no right to wear the S-shield, since on him it stands for failure. The Superman isn't interested in his rantings, but Clark doesn't stop, telling him that he raised David right and he's become dangerous under this Superman's tutelage. David again pretends he doesn't know anything about the Earth-Zero heroes or what they are talking about. Superman thinks that they can still help him, and there is hope as both are taken away to the catacombs by Batman, who tells Superman to go and rebuild the Kent farm. The world's finest are taken into the catacombs, where all the world's villains have been incarcerated. Superman thinks that the heroes are working overtime to clear the board of any opposition to Gog. As he begins to think of Gog, he remembers the chair he was sitting in, thinking that it looked very familiar as they are thrown into a cell by the Batman. Bruce tries to tell Clark to be quiet, but Clark reminds him that he's lost all patience for taking orders. Bruce tells him that they are playing the long game and he just needs to follow his lead. The heroes find their cell is already occupied by a sickly man who wants to be told of anything from the outside, since it's been so long since he has learned anything and he is so hungry. Bruce apologizes since they have no food, but Clark knows he doesn't want to eat. He's starving for knowledge, and he recognizes the man as Metron, and the throne Gog was sitting on is the Mobius chair, Metron's own chair. David meanwhile tells Gog that this is all his fault and he should have handled Batman and Superman when he saw them first. He finds all of the lying he is doing is making him physically ill, and Clark and Bruce were his friends and mentors. Gog finds it too late to tinker with his destiny, and the culmination of their years of planning to make the ultimate kingdom is upon them. Gog knows that Superman and Batman are good men and mean no harm to them, so they'll share in their reward alongside this Earth's heroes when they undergo the Ascension. David wants to tell the men that they can never go home though, but Gog is sure that they will rebel if they learn that, something David thinks he should do as well. Gog knows the man won't, since he knows the cost of what comes next, and he will need to find strength he never knew he had to become the ultimate warrior. David believes he is ready, so Gog unleashes his power onto him, turning David into Magog. Metron meanwhile tells Clark and Bruce that he's been there for years and Gog is an enemy that came long before the new gods ever existed. Metron says that a millennia ago, Gog lived on Ugrand, the home of the then gods of the Third World. The Third World became embroiled in a war and Gog condemned it, refusing to choose a side in it despite being ordered to. Because of this, Gog was exiled into the Void, and the war on the Third World ripped the paradise in two, creating Apocalypse and New Genesis. The Ugrandians were welcomed into Valhalla while Gog fell through the void until he landed on a primordial Earth, becoming isolated on the world. The Earth-22 Batman and Superman meanwhile arrive at the destroyed Kent farm, where Batman reveals that he looked into David's backstory, finding no evidence that supports it. Superman reminds Batman that he is a human lie detector, and he would be able to tell if David was lying, but Batman reminds him that he is only ever a lie detector when he is listening for lies, which Superman never does since he trusts everyone, but Batman does not. Batman wonders what if these doppelgangers were telling the truth, and alternate universes are a scientific theory, and just because they haven't found any other Earths doesn't mean they don't exist. Superman scoffs at the idea, finding it quite a big leap, but Batman doesn't believe so, since if these people were strangers, then how did they know David's real name? Metron meanwhile reveals that he met Gog while on his own travels, becoming friends with him and watching over the birth of humanity, who worshipped Gog, and in return, he instilled them with moral absolution. Metron tells Clark and Bruce that Gog was once a force for good, but then he shared with him the secrets of the multiverse, showing Gog New Genesis and Apocalypse and everything else. Doing so made Gog fall completely silent for 10,000 years. He stood unmoving for a millennia, waiting for David to arrive. Once the boy arrived, Gog asked Metron for use of his Mobius chair, but when Metron denied him access to it, Gog took it by force, attacking Metron and imprisoning him. Earth-22 Batman and Superman arrive, having heard every word of what Metron said, and they come bearing fresh costumes for the beaten heroes. Bruce gives Batman back the tracker he put on him, knowing that he was indirectly investigating them so he would go unnoticed by Gog. Superman says that he heard Metron's story and it was like coming out of a fog, and while they were never really fully under Gog's control for the last couple of years, he has made them amenable to his thirst for worship. He shakes Clark's hand, apologizing since this is the first time they have met parallel versions of themselves, and it's quite eerie. Clark knows it always will be, glad that his counterpart has come round. Bruce wants to know why David is lying about knowing them and the multiverse, and what the Ascension Gog is referring to. Batman says that they will ask David once they separate him from Gog. Metron luckily knows all about Gog's plan, which involves combining David's unique ability to travel dimensions with the Mobius chair, allowing him not to only push through the cosmic wall around the multiverse, but to lead an army beyond the Speed Force wall and beyond the Bleed in order to wage war on Apocalypse and Darkseid. Bruce expected something less well-intentioned, and Superman knows that it will be a bloodbath, since even if they were to win, and even if all of Earth's heroes did help, what would be left to defend Earth from Darkseid's retaliation if they lose? Metron reveals that Gog isn't planning on actually winning the war, as the Ascension is the name he has given to the battle that there will be no survivors of, as he is deliberately leading Earth's heroes on a suicide mission.